So if it wasn't obvious to you, I absolutely love tennis. So of course the first thing that I just can't live without would be my tennis racket collection. But that's kind of a cop-out answer because that's not really one thing, that's a collection of things. So come and let's pick the one racket that I would have to stay with. It's pretty hard for me to choose because I have a lot of emotional connection to a bunch of these rackets. First off, I think we have to talk about the Aero Pro Drive Original, Rafael Nadal's racket, my personal hero, and formerly owned by the dad of one of my closest friends. So that just adds another layer to me. Next, we've got the Babolat Aero Pro Drive GT. I would say this is my first like serious adult racket. It wasn't my first 27-incher, but it was like my first premium stick that I got back in 2010 when I was like 13 years old. This remains the only racket that I've actually won multiple tournaments with. So there's that. It's been all downhill since I was 13, basically. The next one is stacked under a pile up here, the VCore 95. This is the racket that I played most of my college tennis with. It marked a huge step forward in my game in terms of being able to attack, having much better footwork, and using my legs and everything. And I even still don't use my legs.
Pretending like he's moving his legs.
So imagine how bad it used to be. I think this is probably one of the best feeling rackets, but for me it's really full of memories from my college tennis days when I was cheering for my teammates. They were cheering for me. I've had some of my worst losses with this racket as denoted by this huge scrape, but also some of my best wins. It's not every day that I'm actually able to win a third set tiebreaker, but it was when I used this racket. Then of course, we've got the Head Extreme Tour. This is a racket that I definitely never played my best tennis with, but it's the racket that really helped me build this YouTube channel. The videos, the early videos that I did on the Extreme Tour are still some of my most viewed ones, and they're ones that I'm really proud of. Looking back, they're terrible videos, but to me, this is like, this YouTube channel is a big part of my life now, so it's knowing that this is the racket that helped build it means a lot to me. And then last up, obviously, there's the rackets that I'm using now, the Slinko Whiteouts. If I really had to choose between all of them, I think I'd have to pick the Extreme Tour still. I still know that I can play great tennis with them. They have that emotional value to me, whereas these, I just got them, so I haven't quite made that connection. Still really trying to figure out a lot of setups with them, but that's for another time. So the next thing I can't live without is going to be my camera. Obviously, I can't make videos without a camera. Right now, I'm shooting on the Fujifilm X-T3. It's pretty old, it's pretty beat up. I've used it a lot. I'm actually the third owner. In terms of lens setups and everything, I'm using this Viltrox 13mm for like the on-court wide angle stuff. And the big problem with the Fujis is the autofocus is so bad. It's so unreliable. So because it's so bad, I just use vintage lenses for a lot of my product shots. This Canon FD 28mm is what I use to shoot my talking heads in the studio here. And then this 50mm I use a lot for B-roll. But the other thing I love about my Fuji, and I used a Canon M50 before, and I've got an iPhone that I take photos with sometimes, but the Fuji makes you feel more like an artist, filmmaker, a director. It's inspiring to take out, just when you're out and about, bring with you, take a couple photos, especially when you've got this vintage lens to really kind of like bring some character in. So I love that. I'm terrible at photos and terrible at taking videos compared to a lot of professionals. I don't really consider myself an artist from that perspective. I consider myself more of a YouTuber, but it's fun to pretend. So we're gonna take these lenses with us to the court because we do have a shoot day today, which means putting them in my bag. Right now I'm just using this Head Team Tour, and it's good. It's a 12-pack, but it's honestly not big enough when I have shoot days. You can see I'm a horribly disorganized person. So I end up finagling as much space as I can, trying to protect my lenses. I wish there's a little bit more organization built into this bag, and it does fill up way too quick. Like, I gotta bring my whiteouts if I'm testing a bunch of different strings, so that would be like 2-3 rackets already. Then if I've got other rackets to review, like, okay, right now I'm reviewing the Pure Aero 98, for example, but that's not with me right now, but let's say I am reviewing this VCore. 98, got to put that in there. And then if I'm stringing a bunch of rackets for customers, it just fills up way too quick. 12 is not enough, especially when you have to fit a camera, a tripod, and a pair of stinky ass caseless shoes in here. So one thing you might not know about me is how much I absolutely love cars. In fact, it's one of the reasons Simon and I are still friends. Right now, I'm driving a BMW 128i, and depending on the day, I either love it or I hate it. So first, here's what I love about my Beamer. Obviously, rear-wheel drive, lots of drifting fun, especially when it's snowy. And then, of course, it's BMW, so you got that naturally aspirated, free revving inline six. It's super smooth, pretty comfortable on the highway despite its small size. And that small size makes it super fun on tighter driving roads and great in the city. It was especially awesome when I was living in Vancouver. What do I not love about it? Well, one thing. It's an automatic. It's a bit slow to shift. The transmission is made by GM, but my girlfriend's not quite comfortable with a manual car yet, and she's helping me film this video, so you gotta take what you can get with that. Sport mode. Editor Beckett here. So I forgot a couple things that we're gonna add as bonus rounds right in the middle of this video. So it's gonna end up being more than 10 things, but that's fine. The first thing is you, the viewer. Thanks so much for watching. Your support means so much to us here, and obviously you know, that's like my millionth obviously of the video, by the way, but you know we would be nothing without the viewer. And the second thing is similarly important to the channel, and that would be our sponsors. This video is sponsored by Direct Tennis. They've been one of our longest partners on the channel so far, and they're super supportive, really giving us everything we need to keep moving forward with TennCom and everything. So Direct Tennis is an app that links stringers with people who need their rackets strung. It's a great way to find reliable, experienced, and trusted stringers, and they're working on a shop which should be coming soon. If you want to check out Direct Tennis, support Direct Tennis, and thereby support TennCom, please check out the links below in the description where you can download the app or just visit their website to get a little bit more information on, frankly, one of the best tennis apps ever made. All right, so the next thing I can't live without is obviously shoes. So usually I wear my ratty ass J's to the court or some comfy running shoes. Right now I'm working on finishing like a 20+ hour review on these K-Swiss Speed Tracks. I'm looking for something to replace my old Vapor Pros. This is actually pretty good. I don't like K-Swiss because usually I don't think they're cool, but I think they've been doing some interesting things with their designs. The next thing I really can't live without is strings, obviously. This insanely bright pink is Toraline Wasabi, which I've been pleasantly surprised with since I've started testing. I admit that I don't have a lot of data on them in terms of their tension maintenance, but when they're fresh, they are very nice to hit with. Obviously, we've also got my Restring Zero. I'm finding Restring Zero works really well as a cross to kind of tame that launchiness, and it's just generally a great option if you're more of that intermediate player, but you still want huge and easy access to spin. And today, it's not just strings that we're testing. We're here with Adventure Tennis. That's Vince and my buddy Bobby. We are reviewing, what are we reviewing?
We're gonna be reviewing the Pure Aero 98. You guys are probably really familiar with this.
Yeah, so it's Alcaraz's racket. That's what we got on the docket. And before you start, you gotta take your watch off. Watch sponsors gotta sponsor me ASAP. I like watches quite a bit, but it's mostly something that I more do with my dad. This is definitely more of the like post-match piece. I wear this Tissot PRX quite a bit, but I have a smaller watch collection as well, which includes like a Seiko 5 that I wear a lot and an SKX 007.
Cool, well, looking forward to testing this out. Let's go.
Okay, so once we get home, obviously it's time to edit all the footage we just shot. So I flop my bag on the floor like a slob and sit down at my computer. This is what my daily life looks like here. This is DaVinci Resolve 18. That is what I do most of my editing on. I also write all my scripts, like all these videos are scripted. I don't know if you knew that. And then my favorite part about this entire computer setup, even though I built my own computer, this is a PC, I prefer PC to Mac, is this stupid keyboard. It's a KBD 67 Lite. I got it in the second round of group buys. I love it. I lubed every single switch here. I Franken switched as well. Sounds amazing. Listen to that space bar. Okay, and you know, sometimes you get sick of working at the computer all day. You gotta get on your feet, so I move over to my stringing machine. I end up putting, it's not always here in the middle of the living room. That'd be ridiculous. I put it away. It's why it's on this rolling cart. But it's a Gamma X6 FC. FC stands for fixed clamp, and the 6 is for a 6-point mount. It used to be a drop weight, but you can see I've converted it to a Wise tension head, and it's awesome. I think you can get this whole setup for about 2,000 bucks, which is like 20% of like a pro machine, and I can do rackets easily in like 20 minutes. So love that. I also lately have been doing a ton of work customizing, and I would be dead without my graffiti products. So this is the swing weight machine, the twist weight adapter, and the thing that's sneaky so nice is this balance point. It's the BP1. It's a newer product. Before I was just measuring the balance with like a ruler and like a tube to kind of balance the racket, and it was not super accurate. This is a lot better. And then of course the last thing that I can't live without. It's not really a thing at all because people aren't things, but that would be my family and all my friends. Thank you to my girlfriend who is behind the camera filming right now. I would just be a sad, lonely asshole without her probably. And then obviously Simon, he's my best friend. Hello and welcome to TennCom. Today we finally have another tier list. We know it's been a long time, but we forgot funny outfits. Obviously this is TennCom Media. We do everything by the book, extremely objective. Started this YouTube channel together. I'm not sure where he is. If you want to see Simon back in some videos, he's trapped in a basement in an unmarked location. I think they're trying to charge like a $10 million ransom.